Now that your trusses are in place, it's time to install your purlins. Purlins are the secondary members that will make up the roof of your building. It is important to note that in this example, we are using Worldwide Steel Building's web truss columns and roof trusses with 6-inch purlins on the roof and 3 5/8-inch girts on all walls. If your building kit has different components than noted, then the dimensions you will need to use may vary from this video. Please be sure to verify the dimensions against your W drawings. The placement of purlins is important to ensure that the trusses are not leaning in or out, so please make sure that you have the correct purlin for each location by referencing your W drawings and your ship list. On the galvanized secondary framing list, you will have the location or use for each secondary member. Locate the secondary members that indicate they are purlins for the bay you are currently installing. In this example, starting at grid 1 on your W drawings, the first frame is set 6 5/8 inches back from the end wall. For buildings with no gable extension, each purlin that is installed in the bay between grids 1 and 2 is marked at 6 5/8 inches from the end of the purlin. This mark should line up with the center of the pre-installed welded clip on top of your grid 1 truss. Attach with 4 number 12 Tech screws as shown here. If your building has a gable extension, you will need to add the extension length onto this 6 5/8 inch dimension prior to marking. For example, if you have a 1-foot 0-inch gable extension, noted on your W1 drawing, you will need to add the 1-foot 0 inches to the 6 5/8 inch dimensions, which is a total of 1 foot 6 5/8 inches. Measure this distance from the end of the purlin and make a mark for the center of the welded clip as shown here. Do this for each purlin required in the bay you are installing. Once your marks have been made, line it up along the center of the pre-installed clip of your outer truss. It is a good idea to utilize a locking C-clamp to hold the purlin in place at each end before attaching it to the clip using 4 number 12 Tech screws as shown here. The C-clamp can be removed once the Tech screws are installed. Attach the other end of the purlin to the adjacent truss, making sure the purlin lines up in the center of the truss. If the purlin does not line up perfectly at first, don't worry. This is common, and your trusses may need to be pushed or pulled to line up correctly. Because the purlin stops at the center line of the second truss's pre-installed clip, you will only use 2 Tech screws to install. Continue this installation method for all the remaining purlins in your bay. When you have an intermediate bay, where neither truss you are installing purlins on are the last frame in your building, then each end of your purlin will line up with the center line of the pre-installed clip, and each end will only require 2 Tech screws to install. Once all purlins have been installed, it's time to install your roof wind rod bracing. Thanks for choosing Worldwide Steel Buildings. Got questions? Give us a call at 1-800-825-0316 or visit our website at worldwidesteelbuildings.com.